HOA Karen's scream could curdle milk, and on that sweltering July evening, it echoed across Lake Serenity like a banshee's wail. As the president of the Serenity Shores Homeowners Association, she'd ruled the neighborhood with an iron fist wrapped in a bedazzled pink tracksuit. Her latest decree? The lake, once a shared haven for fishing and picnics, was now her personal fiefdom, gated off for her exclusive use. "It's for property values," she'd bellowed at the last HOA meeting, her chins quivering with conviction. The community, a tight-knit mix of families, retirees, and young professionals, seethed under her reign. But no one expected the rebellion to erupt so spectacularly or so disastrously. For years, HOA had weaponized her position, fining residents for unapproved mailboxes, banning kids' lemonade stands, and once threatening to tow a veteran's truck over a single oil stain. Her obsession with control reached its peak when she padlocked the lake's access gate, claiming it was her divine right as HOA president to preserve its pristine beauty. The reality? She wanted the lake for her loud, booze-fueled parties, complete with a floating karaoke barge that blared Celine Dion until 2 a.m. Neighbors begged for compromise. But HOA's response was a sneer and a new rule: $500 fines for anyone caught near the water. The breaking point came when Miguel, a soft-spoken landscaper and single dad, organized a petition. His daughter, Sophia, needed the lake for her therapy swims, her cerebral palsy eased in the water's gentle embrace. HOA laughed off the petition, calling it a pathetic sob story. That's when the whispers of rebellion grew louder. Enter Clara, a retired lawyer with a sharp tongue and a knack for loopholes. She uncovered a dusty clause in the HOA charter. The lake was public community property, and HOA's gate was illegal. The discovery lit a fuse. On the night of the showdown, dozens gathered at the lake's edge. HOA, tipped off by a loyal crony, stormed down in her SUV, tires screeching. "You peasants have no right," she shrieked, waving a manicured finger. Miguel stood firm, holding Sophia's hand, while Clara read the charter aloud, her voice steady but electric. The crowd chanted, "Open the gate!" HOA, red-faced and unhinged, climbed onto her SUV's hood, screaming about lawsuits and property devaluation. That's when the unexpected twist roared to life. Old Man Jenkins, the eccentric recluse who'd lived on the hill for decades, appeared with his ancient bulldozer. Jenkins, a wiry 80-year-old with a vendetta against HOA for fining his wildflower garden, had heard enough. "This lake was my wife's favorite place," he growled, revving the engine. "You don't own it, lady." Before anyone could react, Jenkins drove the bulldozer forward, aiming for the gate. HOA, in a panic, leapt off her SUV directly into the bulldozer's path. The crowd gasped as Jenkins swerved, but the machine's claw clipped her SUV, crumpling the front like tinfoil. HOA fell to her knees, sobbing over her mangled pride and joy. The gate crashed down, and the crowd cheered, but the victory was short-lived. HOA, ever the opportunist, spun the incident into her narrative. By morning, she'd filed a lawsuit against Jenkins, Miguel, Clara, and half the neighborhood, claiming assault, property damage, and emotional distress. Her lawyer, a slick city type, painted her as a victim of a violent mob. The community rallied, pooling funds for their defense, but the legal battle drained their spirit. Sophia's swims stopped. Jenkins faced losing his home. Clara's health faltered under stress. The lake, now open, felt haunted by the cost. Months later, the courtroom was a circus. HOA, draped in a melodramatic neck brace, wept crocodile tears. Jenkins, unbowed, testified about his late wife's love for the lake, his voice cracking. Clara exposed HOA's years of HOA fraud, skimming dues for her parties. The twist? A surprise witness? HOA's own nephew, Tim, a shy teenager who'd recorded her bragging about her schemes. The audio was damning. "I own this neighborhood," she'd cackled. The judge, unimpressed by HOA's theatrics, ruled against her. The lake stayed open, but Jenkins' bulldozer stunt cost him a hefty fine, and the community's legal fees left scars. HOA moved away, her reputation in tatters, But the victory was bittersweet. The lake sparkled again, yet the neighborhood felt fractured trust eroded by months of conflict. Miguel and Sophia swam together once more, but the joy was tempered by the memory of the fight. Jenkins, now a local legend, tended his wildflowers in defiance. Clara, weakened but proud, penned an op-ed urging unity. The saga of Lake Serenity wasn't just about a lake. It was about power, greed, and the cost of standing up. HOA's downfall was a cautionary tale, but the community's wounds would take time to heal. What do you think, did justice prevail or did the fight cost too much?